Hey, 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 it's Ozioma, and I am back. And in fact, I'm going to be coming back every Sunday now with a special experience that we are calling Mastery Sunday Sessions. And these sessions are really dedicated to supporting your growth on a personal as well as a professional level. We're going to be talking about many different subjects, and this is all in preparation for many of you know my new podcast that's coming out later this year, the Burn Bright podcast. So, in order for us to begin the energy and get the flow going, what I want to do is talk about your calling. Because the term and that word, my calling, my calling, my calling, many people go their entire lives searching for this thing called their calling. But how do you know if the path you're currently on is truly the one that is aligned with your greatest good, your greatest opportunity for contribution, your greatest opportunity to grow and to experience all the magic that life has to offer? And, a lot of the work that I've done professionally and personally is in the space of the dream, is in the space of the vision, is in the space of helping individuals and communities and businesses identify what is their grand mission or what is that grand invitation, and how do we take the steps that are needed, the steps that are necessary for us to truly awaken it, to activate it, to fully, fully, fully unleash the power that lives within us. But in order to do that, in order to even begin to get a sense of your calling, you have to begin to enhance your ability to listen. So this mastery session is going to focus on how do we listen? How do we begin to get quiet so that the signs, so that the information that we require that will support our personal and professional and individual and collective evolution, so that we can actually see them when they're arising? I hope that sounds good for you. If that sounds good, just give me some hearts, give me some information, give me some love that you're with me and that you are interested in learning more about how do we begin to get quiet. A couple of weeks ago, I was away in New York for 3 weeks, and I made the conscious commitment to take a silence meditation retreat. And that is one of the keys that I would recommend, that even if you can't get away to what some would call a vipassana, you engage in some form of developing this year a silence practice. What is a silence practice, right? Because let's face it, not every one of us can like go to the mountains or go to Boston or invest, an entire week or 10 days or 14 days to get silent in a long stretch of time. But I do believe that every single month, which is what I'm going to invite you to do, every single month, identify one weekend, at minimum, if you could, just one day. And if you can't do one day, one afternoon on a consistent basis, to just begin to get silent from within. And what does it mean to get silence from within? It means turning off your computer, turning off the alerts on your phone, turning off everything, and then tuning in, beginning to get quiet, beginning to listen. Usually when you're having your silence session, what you want to do is, after you've turned everything off, maybe you want to send some emails, you want to send some texts and let people know, hey, I'm going silent. Those who have known me for many years know that Ozioma goes silent. And why do we go silent? We go silent so that we can begin to tune into the internal communication. So first, I'm going to talk about the process of silent internal communication, and then how do we silently move through the world so that we can receive the messages that the world is revealing to us. So like I said, every single month, you want to take the time to just go silent, whether it's for a day or for an afternoon. Preferably, it would be amazing if you could at least go for 24 hours, if not an entire weekend. And what that looks like is you sending out your message, your communications, hey, I'm going to be silent. And then you beginning to start with probably what I like to do is a meditation. Closing your eyes, or for those of us who practice open-eyed meditation, first we sit in a comfortable position and we just begin to breathe. And as we breathe, we allow any resistance and all thoughts to slow down, to begin to slow down so that we become more available and more present to possibility. And so that is a simple beginning practice, is just to sit and breathe and allow your thoughts, those racy thoughts that we have, just to slow down. And some people, I'm not going to sit here and tell you what is the best form of meditation for you, because there are so many different types of meditation. Some people are focused on releasing all thoughts. Others are focused on getting positive imagery in. And only you will know which type of meditation works for you by experimenting different forms of it. I myself am a passionate practitioner of Raj Yoga meditation as practiced by the Brahma Kumaris, but also Vivekananda. There's many different teachers throughout the history of meditation and yoga that talk about Raj Yoga, this union with divine energy. But if you're not someone who practices meditation, all you can do is just focus on, first and foremost, slowing your thoughts and breathing and sitting in a comfortable position and just opening up a space for whatever thoughts naturally arise to come in. You may even want to ask a question. That is one way to begin this silence process, or to delve deeper into silence. It could be a question where you simply ask yourself, what do I need to know right now? What do I need to know right now? What do I need to know right now? And as you ask yourself that question of what do I really need to know right now, you begin to realize that certain thoughts become more available to you. Certain thoughts start to rise in your conscious awareness. And those are the messages that you need to hear in the silence. Or you may bring into the silence the question, what is my true calling? What is my true calling? What is my true calling? And allow yourself to just listen to what comes back to you, the information that's being revealed to you about what your true calling is. And that's just that's just the foundational step of being able to create a silence practice that allows you to create space for yourself, a sacred sanctuary, so that you can begin to ask yourself some of the most important questions that you need to ask yourself to support yourself in 2020 and beyond. Because this is truly about the way in which we create inner sanctuaries that help us combat some of the challenges that technology is wreaking in our lives. Technology has wonderful, wonderful, wonderful benefits. Listen, I teach on it. I speak very often about the positive, the light side of technology. But there is also, as we know, a shadow side. And the only way that we can support how we move forward with our contribution is first and foremost by developing a listening practice. So once you basically take the time and carve the time, like I said, hopefully an entire 24 hours, if not at least an afternoon, for you to get silent, for you to begin to commune within, then it is the invitation for you to take that silence on a silent walking meditation. Maybe you find somewhere in nature that you can commune. Here in Portugal, there are certain trees and certain parks that I commune with, that I bring my desires, my awareness, my thoughts to, and I just allow myself to get silent and to listen to what nature is saying to me. So that is an invitation for you as well, to begin to think about, okay, now as I'm developing this silent meditation within myself, how can nature support me being able to listen for my calling? What is this tree saying to me? It could come in the form of its angle, its shape, the way it's swaying currently, the way its relationship may be showing up for you with other trees or other environments that you may see around that tree. But nature itself has so many gifts to give us. And the more that we begin to listen and to bring some of the challenges, some of the insights, some of the desires that we have to the environment, then we can engage in a form of communication that we don't often engage in. So this is the beginning of the process of being able to listen to your calling by developing a silence practice, being able to first and foremost carve out time for it. That's step one. Secondly, begin to allow ourselves to align and get quiet in a seated position, to listen to what is emerging, and then practice taking that out and communing and listening to nature. So that's what I have for you in terms of an invitation for you to listen to your calling through developing a silence practice this year. I look forward to supporting you next week in our next mastery session. Until then, may your inner light burn bright.